All right. Come on in, hit the thumbs up as you come in. We are streaming this on the Soldiers of Finance YouTube channel, and we're also streaming it on the Soldiers of Finance Facebook channel, Facebook page. So I'm not sure. Most people are going to watch this from YouTube, which is fine. But I'm trying a little experiment with seeing if we can also simulcast this with Facebook. So let's see, what do we got here? Come on in, hit the thumbs up as you come in. And when you come in, do me a quick favor. Make a comment and just let me know, are you joining us from Facebook or YouTube? We're trying something new, and we're going to simulcast this from YouTube, as we always do. And then we're trying Facebook too. I just want to try a little experiments. Okay, come on in, hit the thumbs up as you come in. All right, yeah, I'm over there on Facebook, looking good. Kinda, a little jittery. All right, we got captions, that's good. Okay. All right, oh, I see here. It's got a little thing here that tells me how many people are joining from each platform. Great. StreamYard has improved. Listen, guys, we're going to get into the Dallas Stock Exchange. Okay, it's another example of how money is moving away from these blue cities and states and moving where it's treated best. Money always is going to go where it is treated best every single time. Okay, it may in some cases do it more rapidly than in other cases, but it's going to do it. Okay. First I want to, SpaceX, they went public, right? I want to talk about something that's going on with the SpaceX stock. You guys are familiar with the practice of short selling. Now, I always say it on this channel. I am not a trader. I am an investor. And as an investor, I do not short sell. Okay. And I don't begrudge anybody who can make money doing that. Perfectly legal. If you can make money doing that, then I say more power to you, right? But just like everything else, you gotta be careful, because short selling, especially in the case of SpaceX, it's getting a little interesting. This is what Elon Musk had to say about short selling. Hold on for a second. Come on in. As you come in, hit that like button for me, please. Hit that thumbs up, whether you're on Facebook, whether you're on YouTube. Hit something to help us tweak the algorithm, right? I'm going to play you some, you should be able to hear this. Let's see, hold on.
Tesla was the most shorted stock in the history of stock markets. Yeah. This is saying something. So, this was affecting our ability to hire people. It was affecting our ability to sell cars. Yeah, it was terrible. They wanted Tesla to die so bad they could taste it. Tesla was...
Okay. Short sellers came after Tesla. They're still out there too, right? One of the most famous short sellers for Tesla was this guy, Gordon Johnson. Okay. Man, Gordon Johnson's been out there talking about short selling Tesla for almost a decade now. Okay. He's like Don Quixote tilting at windmills, literally. All right. Now, Gordon Johnson, he used to be platformed on CNBC. He used to be on there all the time. And he just kept on talking about short selling Tesla and how Tesla wasn't going to amount to, anything, as Tesla kept going up in value.
What he's done is he's got the market to value his technology as if he's achieved these amazing things when he has not. And the problem is that's going to be reflected as his earnings continue coming down. So when you say he's done amazing things, I'm here to tell you he has not. In fact, another study came out to say that Tesla has the highest fatality rate of any car on the road. And if you go to tesladeaths.com, there have been dozens of people that have been credibly alleged to have died by relying on this technology. In our view, because regulators aren't doing their job in coming in and regulating, and because Elon Musk can make wild claims like having 1 million robo-taxis on the road in 2020, there's not one on the road today. And he gets credit for that via valuation. That's not an amazing thing in our view. It's a deceptive thing, and I think it's bad for capital markets.
Okay, now Gordon Johnson, he, in my view, all right, it got kind of personal. Emotion came in and trumped analytics at some point with Gordon Johnson. And Tesla, since its inception as a stock that's been publicly traded, it's up 25,000%. My camera, hold on, guys. Hold on, guys. I don't know if you could still hear me. You can still hear me. I'm trying to get this camera back online. Tesla's up 25,000% since Gordon Johnson started his short sale campaign on Tesla. Okay, there we go. We're back. All right. So I just put this out there because folk should be very careful when engaging in short selling, especially with this guy, Elon Musk. All right. SpaceX, they're short selling the stock. They're betting big before the earnings, and some folk might make some money doing that. But the reality is that SpaceX has reduced launch cost to put a kilogram of whatever into space. They've reduced that launch cost by 85 to 95%. That's tremendous. That's value. They've got the Starlink constellation. Okay. I know Elon talks a big game about a lot of his technologies, and some of it we have yet to see come to fruition. It's true. But in the final analysis, I don't know if I'd bet against him. That's all I'm saying. I just found this interesting. Do me a favor. If you're watching this, drop a comment if you're watching it on YouTube. This is the first day that I am simulcasting this on Facebook as well. And I just want to make sure everything's working correctly. Okay. And if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that thumbs up. It helps in letting other people know that we're here. Sometimes YouTube does not give out the notifications. Unfortunately, that happens sometimes. What's going on here? Okay. 1 second. Because at this point, usually we have a lot more comments than we do today, which is kind of weird. And I'm not sure if what's going on here is Facebook being a part of this. Okay. I think it is. In any event, I'll hang with Facebook for a little while here just for experimental purposes, and then we'll might have to cut Facebook loose here. Let's see if I can do that. I don't even know if I can do that without starting the stream. Okay, we'll just roll with it and see what happens. All right, so I am not suggesting that anybody purchase Tesla or SpaceX or sell it or anything like that. I just found that to be an interesting development. The short sellers coming out of the woodwork with that. All right, let's move here. We're going to move on here, and we're going to talk about, we're going to get to this whole thing with Y'all Street, with the Dallas Stock Exchange, which is extremely interesting. Okay. First, damn it, I'm not able to be as interactive as I would like to be today. I can't even get the comment section to show up on my stream. So maybe it's a thing where you guys are not seeing it at all. This is weird. I knew something had, I tried to simulcast this before and it didn't work out. So I'm thinking that Facebook is causing some sort of issue. If you're here and you can comment, please do. I'm trying to make sure that we can get, we can simulcast these things on Facebook and on YouTube as well. I don't know if we can. Yeah, hold on, guys. Okay. All right. This might be a lost cause. That'll be a shame because today's this Y'all Street thing is big. Let's see how I can cut out of Facebook. Bear with me for a second, guys. I think Facebook is the problem here. Because having no comments at this point in the game is highly unusual. Let's try that. All right. Okay. I have asked for comments. I don't think you guys can comment because even in my system here, I'm not seeing an option to comment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop this and I'm going to come right back. I'm going to cut. I'm going to get rid of. Maybe I can do it remotely here. I'm going to get rid of Facebook. I knew something about Facebook had caused me not to want to have that platform on here. And now I think I know why. Okay. Remove from Facebook. All right. So that, yeah, okay. We stopped on Facebook. Let's see here. Okay. If you're out there and you can safely comment, drop a comment in the comment box and let me just see if we've solved that problem because we just cut Facebook loose. It wasn't working out, which tells me we can't do Facebook simulcasting going forward, which is a shame. Okay, my next move is to just restart the stream, which I don't know if I can do. Let me just run through this and we'll start fresh tomorrow. Okay, Wheezy, there you go. Okay. All right, good. Yeah, Wheezy, were you able to, did you see an option for comments a moment ago? Or was there anything prohibiting you from commenting? Because I still can't comment, not on my mobile. And I'm seeing more people coming into the stream. Hit the thumbs up, please, guys, as you come in. We had a little technical glitch. I think it was caused by simulcasting with Facebook. All right, so let's proceed. You did not. Okay. All right. All right. Thanks, Weezy. I appreciate that. All right, look. Let me go on to something interesting here, guys. So, have you guys ever seen the movie AI? It's a Steven Spielberg movie where there are all of these robots. They're AI-enabled robots, and they have their own personalities, and they're like several different categories of robots. You have robots that are workers. There's a robot child Like if you can't have kids or whatnot, you can have this robot child. There are even robots that work in the adult entertainment industry. Okay. In that movie, now this is like a 30-year-old movie. So if you consider this a spoiler, it's been 3 decades. Okay. At least. There's a scene in the movie where when the robots are no longer considered useful, they're kind of obsolete. There's a new version out. These robots, they end up being pitted against one another in this arena, like this battle arena. And it's very sad, actually, right? Because they have like these things are conscious beings, all right? All right, so there's that. Then there's another movie franchise that we're all familiar with called Terminator, right? Where the robots can basically fight and engage in all kinds of battlefield scenarios, right? And they do so to the extent that they've basically subjugated humanity. Okay, so we've all seen the movies, right? Well, this is real life. There's a company, Engine AIs, they call it the T800 humanoid, which is crazy because the Terminator was the T1000, okay? So people were saying that this robot fighting was CGI, it was AI. So the CEO of the company said, it's not AI, it's not CGI. I'm going to get in the ring with this robot and help you understand that. So do you believe this? Watch this. There's music, so I'm not going to play the music. Okay, this robot is kicking down doors. Okay, it's doing all kinds of, look at that, like acrobatic fighting styles. He's the CEO. All right. And here we go. This robot's got to be like, what is it, like 6 feet tall, maybe 5'7". Okay. That's a pretty powerful. That was a decent. CEO might have played into it a little bit, but that was a solid kick, right? That was a solid kick. How much does this thing weigh? All right, he's got the look on his face. He's got that smile like, yeah, I'm really hurt, but I got to try to play it off because I don't want the military to come in here and snatch this robot. Like, oh, that was fun, but I'm really hurt. I'm really hurt. Hold on, guys. All right, here's the robot. Kicking down doors. What if this thing kicked down your door and showed up in your foyer? How would you handle this robot? I think it's going to take more than one round to take it out. Okay. All right. So I just want you guys to see this. This is, if you look at Boston Dynamics, they're an American robot company. They've got a robot that can do all kinds of somersaults and flips. We've seen that before. All right. So he kicks the heavy bag. That was a solid kick. This is where we're going. Okay. Now, of course, this is going to have military applications, right? What do you think about that? Now, got that. Let me show you something else. Hold on. So let's look at another issue surrounding robotics, AI, drones. Check this out. This is kind of sad, actually. There's a drone, presumably a Russian military drone. It's chasing a simple street vendor in Ukraine. Okay. This is Black Mirror in real life. Can you believe that? Now, this was put out by The Independent. It's a British newspaper. They said that guy was not hurt. Let me say that. They said he was not hurt. But did you see that? Okay. So that drone was like personally assigned to that dude. That was really crazy. All right. All right. Let's move on. Let's go to talk about the fact that Wall Street in New York is being supplanted by Y'all Street down in Texas. Now, if you take a look at this website, and I'd encourage you to go to this website and explore it. It shows you how money is leaving blue states, politically blue states, and moving to politically red states. And it's not due to politics in every case. This has to do with money. People are getting up and moving because the financial situation in these blue states is such that they want to tax you to death. They want to fee you to death. Okay. They want to do these giant wealth transfers. Look at all the money and people that are coming out of New York in the last few years, moving to Texas. Between 2012 and 2023, 131,000 folks said, I'm leaving New York, going to Texas. Now, remember, they're not just going to Texas. They're going other places too. Almost 500,000 went to Florida. Okay. Trying to escape what's going on in New York City. Let's see how many went to Delaware, because Delaware is right down the road. 17,000. Okay. But it's not just people who are making this switch. It's also big corporations. The big corporations like stock exchanges. Okay.
You know that bell they ring on Wall Street every day? Well, today at 3 o'clock, right here in Dallas, Y'all Street rang a bell of its own for the very first time. The Texas Stock Exchange opened for business earlier this month, handling trades in a limited number of stocks. This is the first brand new stock exchange the federal government has signed off on in decades, with more than $250 million behind it. Here's economist Ray Perryman on what success could look like.
The ultimate measure will be, do companies register and list their stock there? Do investors come there to raise capital and to invest in capital? The ultimate is going to be how it performs for both the folks who need money and the folks who want to invest money.
The exchange has to expect the first IPOs here sometime next year. And today's ceremony, by the way, is at a temporary office, the real home with a trading floor and the stock ticker right on the side of the building is still being built in Dallas.
Okay. So they're going to locate in Dallas. They're going to, well, they've started operations, okay, temporarily in one particular location. And they're going to expand on that. And like the guy said, this is going to be a situation where if they can raise the money, which I don't see why they wouldn't be able to, okay, they've got an advantage going for them too. That the fact that they're in another time zone, I think that's actually an advantage. All right. Because it kind of brings in that Central and West Coast, all those businesses out there in that time zone. It kind of brings them into the fold a little bit more. Okay. The world starts at 9 a.m. Eastern. Maybe now that the Texas Stock Exchange is up and running, maybe a lot of those Silicon Valley startups will take a look at being listed on this exchange as opposed to, the New York Stock Exchange or the NASDAQ. We don't know. We'll see. Okay. But I do think that there's obviously enough money out there that folk are saying, fine. Yeah, we'll list on this exchange. They've got folk that have listed on that exchange. So there's obviously the money out there to do it. I'm sure the workers that are physically located there are happy about the cost of living in Texas as opposed to the cost of living, well, Dallas as opposed to New York City. Right? Let's see. I want to give you a little bit more detail on this stock exchange. Still haven't figured out what's going on with the stream today. Maybe the subject matter is just not that popular. We usually are doing a lot better. I think starting it out. I think YouTube, all of these platforms, they have a problem when other platforms are introduced into the mix. Okay. And so maybe both canceled each other out because they saw the other URL, I don't know. All right, hold on. All right, while we are discussing this, I want to let you know that we all here at the Soldiers of Finance channel, we have a sponsor that we're very, very proud of. And, here at Soldiers of Finance, what do we try to do? We're getting some comments now. Okay, perfect. What do we try to do here at Soldiers of Finance? Well, one of the big things we try to do here is navigate and talk about navigating this new economy, right? This evolving economy. And one of the ways to do that is keep more money in your pocket. And we have to go out and, we're human beings. We got to be entertained, right? So when we talk about sports entertainment, I stopped paying attention to most sports in the 1990s. Now you got to, you got to take a second mortgage out to go to an NFL, take the family to an NFL game, right? Go to a baseball game, hot dogs like $18. It's crazy. It's crazy. So we got to look for alternatives to our entertainment, affordable alternatives. And our sponsor, the Baltimore Blast, is just one of those affordable options.
If you are looking for the best indoor soccer experience, it doesn't get better than the Baltimore Blast. Right here in Towson Arena.
Okay, so the Baltimore Blast, I've been to several of their games. It's a great time. It's affordable. It's free parking. Okay, so you can't get better than that, right? And you can get some refreshments for the family, have a grand old time. If you are in the Baltimore area or if you visit Baltimore, make sure that if you do it in the season, stop by a Baltimore Blast game. I might be there, okay, to say hello to you. All right, so back to the Texas Stock Exchange. Y'all Street launches. Texas Stock Exchange goes live in Dallas. The Texas Stock Exchange, which is based in Dallas, is the first new major stock exchange to launch in the U.S. in decades. The TXSE, not the NYSE, but the TXSE, called TXSE, is looking to compete with the New York Stock Exchange and NASDAQ Composite for listings. The exchange boasts several prominent financial backers, including BlackRock, Goldman Sachs, and Charles Schwab, among others. JP Morgan Chase, they employ more people in Texas now than they do in New York. The exchange currently has plans to begin corporate listings later this year and intends to facilitate initial public offerings starting in 2027. The TXSE sees the economic rise of Texas and a broader swath of the South that is calling the boom belt being the center of gravity for American capitalism and a market it can tap into for IPOs. I agree. And as an entrepreneur, also understand that if you've got any business aspirations, moving into that area of the country where it's right to work. Okay. So the whole union started out as something great, protecting the workers, fighting for their rights. Great. But like all things, corrupted over time. Now, unions, for the most part, the big unions are nothing more than extensions of the Democrat Party, and that they're involved in very adversarial relationships in many cases. I've been in a union, all right? Communications Workers of America, Local 2101. I was in that union. So I've seen it from both sides, management and bargain for. The South has a different relationship with the unions. Okay. Again, a lot of money is flowing into the South because of excessive taxation in the mid-Atlantic blue states in California. Okay. People are trying to avoid that. The company's website notes the region has an annualized GDP of, let's just say, $9 trillion, 8.9 trillion, more than all world economies other than the US and China. It adds that 40% of American exports pass through the boom belt, while 57% of US job growth has occurred in the region in the last 5 years. This is important stuff. Makes me strongly consider, while I'm sitting here thinking about it, expanding our financial services business into that area. Currently, the exchange is operating from temporary offices in the uptown neighborhood of Dallas, where it will hold a bell ringing ceremony Friday afternoon to mark its official launch, which was done actually last Friday. Okay. All right, let's take a look at some comments here. See if we got, I think we got some comments. All right, we got a little action here. LJ's in the house. LJ, okay, says, goodness, I forgot about the stream and YouTube didn't send a notification. Guys, we tried to simulcast with Facebook, and I think that screwed things up. LJ says, Weezy, did you play on the Jeffersons? Momo, good to see you, lurking and listening during work. I appreciate that. Rockhouse says, supposedly the Texas Stock Exchange will accept double listing of companies already listed on the NYSE and the NASDAQ and ETFs. We will see. Hey, that would help them out, right? That would definitely help them out. LJ says Las Vegas has a professional soccer team named the Las Vegas Lights. Plays at Cashman Field in Las Vegas. Is that indoor or outdoor soccer? Okay. Guys, I also want to remind you that we have started this economic survival briefing. It's a weekly briefing. Very brief, hence the word, and impactful. Now, it's free. Okay. Again, we are laser focused on successfully navigating this evolving economy. If you want to sign up for that, go to healthwealthlink.com/join. Put your information in and you will become a part of that. Okay. You'll get those briefings. So go ahead and, again, totally free. We're not sharing your information with anyone. Don't have to worry about that. Put your info in there and we'll make sure you get that. So LJ says, no, Cashman Field is not indoor. It's an open air outdoor stadium located in downtown Las Vegas. Okay. We're going to be bringing you more news on more affordable options. We have several organizations that are interested in advertising with us because we have a growing presence. It's not just YouTube, but we're on Facebook at the Hale Keys Economic Coalition. Okay, we're there. We just launched this morning the TikTok version of Soldiers of Finance. We're trying to be everywhere, okay? And the other reason we're doing that, guys, is because we went through this thing with YouTube where they changed their algorithm, and I was at first I thought, well, maybe the channel is just not that popular. But then I learned that even the biggest YouTubers were having difficulties. And I said, oh, it's not just me. All right. And I thought to myself, and I thought this during the campaign, and I really couldn't execute on it because we were campaigning. But I thought, I don't want all my eggs in one basket. YouTube is one entity. They're the biggest. It's great. I love it. But being overexposed to one platform is not ideal. So we're out there with the Hale Keys Economic Coalition on Facebook. We're out there with the TikTok, and we're going to do some stuff on Instagram as well. Okay. So we're just expanding, trying to bring more people into the fold, because I know that a lot of people are trying to figure this out, right? We're moving in a lot of different directions. We got AI coming into play. We got robotics coming into play. There's the political aspect of things that we talked about yesterday with energy, for example, right? There's so much going on in the world, and there's more opportunity out there than ever before. But the way you capture that opportunity has changed dramatically. So we've got to, used to be a time where you could graduate from school and just nothing would change in 20, 25 years. You could just sit there. The job was pretty much guaranteed unless you did something absolutely crazy, right? Well, things are changing weekly in the world today. And this is just the facts of life these days, right? So we got to be prepared for that. LJ says YouTube is not promoting you at all. They don't promote Christian Conservative or Just the Guys podcast either. Yeah, there are a lot of channels that YouTube is just not pushing. They're not letting people who have subscribed and hit the notification button, they're not even notifying them. So that's why we are expanding across platforms. I've never relied on YouTube for the AdSense revenue. All right. We did, I'm going to just be totally transparent with you. There was a point, the high watermark revenue wise from AdSense was about $900 a month for maybe about 8 months. Okay. Fluctuated, something, I think we got a month of $1,000 and 700, average $900 a month. And that was cool. We put it away or bought groceries or something. It's not like we went out here and, bought a new house or a Bentley. That we're not that's not the kind of people we are anyway, right? So I say that to say that YouTube's revenue model from ads was never something that I was intending to ever be appreciable in any way, shape, or form. But I always did have the model in my head to take on sponsors. But I didn't want to just take on any sponsors, because I'm not going to come on here and talk to you guys about ways to save money and then invest that money, and then come on and talk to you about or promote a product that doesn't have any financial utility. Okay. So I'm not in a position, because I hold that stance, I'm not in a position to ever go after the Baltimore Ravens as a sponsor, because I think that most pro sports today is exorbitantly expensive, prohibitively so for most people, to go to the games and take their family with them, right? So the perfect solution for me and the Baltimore Blast is to team up and say, hey, look, this is an affordable option. You're not going to break the bank. You're not going to have to save for 6 months to take your kids out to see a soccer game, right? All right. So those are the type of advertisers that I have to be on the lookout for. Are those advertisers that can bring some sort of financial utility to the soldiers of finance? All right. Not just out, because these socialists get it wrong. They think the problem is capitalism. No, the problem is conspicuous consumerism. Americans have been trained to be conspicuous consumers ever since the 50s, when the admin first got started and Edward Bernays came out with his psychology and linked it to consumerism. That's the problem. People are not disciplined in how they spend their money, and they go out and they engage in retail therapy, and then they turn around and no, you're not going to be fulfilled just because you're buying stuff. All right. Give you the perfect example, the storage industry, you know, a place where you can take all your crap. When your house can't hold any more of it, you take it to the storage facility, right? That's a booming industry. Simply, it wouldn't be doing as good as it is unless Americans were addicted to consumerism, right? So, and of course, there are some people that don't have a lot of disposable income, and they can't engage in consumerism to the degree that a lot of middle class Americans can. You know, we know the middle class is shrinking, but how much of that is the middle class's fault? Because we've been inculcated in this keeping up with the Joneses mentality. All right. So just a stream of consciousness rant there. LJ says $900 a month pays my mortgage. LJ, you need to start a YouTube channel and you might be able to get that or half of it. So yeah, so that's where we are with that. All right. Did I have anything else for you guys today? That whole thing with Facebook kind of threw me off. So let's just go over it, because I think some of you guys may have missed it in the beginning. The short sellers are after SpaceX. Okay. Be careful. I don't engage in derivatives or trading. I'm not a short seller. I always say, if you can make money doing it and it's legal, knock yourself out. You know, it's not for me. But when it comes to short selling SpaceX, it's betting against Elon Musk, and folk have got to separate their personal feelings from the reality that is SpaceX. Reduce launch cost of a kilogram to put a kilogram in orbit by 85 to 95%. Got the Starlink constellation up and running. Rescued the astronauts. Remember that? That was a great PR win for them. And then, you know, when we look at the data, those short sellers tried to match wits with Elon Musk. Some of them got very emotional about it. Meanwhile, since its inception as an IPO, Tesla has returned 25,461%. Okay. Can't argue with that, right? Okay. Hold on one sec. Let's see if we got it. Okay. All right, guys. So that's all we have for today. Listen, there is an upload on the channel today that goes into the homelessness situation in America. Okay. And how these 501c3s are out there and they are really profiting from homelessness to the tune of $24 billion being lost in California alone. Okay. Yeah, lost. I say that tongue in cheek because we know that it found its way into someone's pockets, right? But watch that video, give it a thumbs up. They are monetizing misery. They being a cadre of 501c3s, they want to grow homelessness. They see it as a growth industry. And we outline that in this video. So go ahead and watch that, give that a thumbs up, help that get some traction because it's an important issue. All right, guys. Thank you for hanging out, and I will talk to you on tomorrow.